Hey guys, it's me, my face, and a month's worth of stuff. Today's happy dance is brought to us by coffee because that's what I have. If you're new here, my name is Andrea. This is a channel about cross stitching. If you're not new here, you know what we get up to. Let's jump in. First, probably the most important thing that I have to say today is yes, I did. I got my hair cut. I'm getting used to it. It's fine. The purple will be coming back though. That's happening. The first thing I worked on is an oldie but goodie. This is Templar Prophecy from Long Dog Samplers. I did some stuff. What did I do? I managed to bring a lot of this down. I believe I pulled this down. I got a little bird in there. I don't know if he's been there before. And made it to over about here. I didn't look at Pattern Keeper, but I think I'm probably about 65–70% done. I will be happy when it's done so that I can display it and so that I don't ever have to look at it again. That doesn't make any sense. If I'm going to display it, I'm going to see it. I don't have to stitch on it again. We're fine. I do need some help, however. I have recharted, you should be seeing something up here. I have recharted the swan that goes here because the swan runs into a banner and I don't want them to be the same color. So I recharted it two different ways. What do you prefer? The one with the swan with the flat bottom, or the swan that looks like it's behind the banner and it's wavy? Give me your thoughts. The next thing I worked on is also from Long Dog Samplers. This is Pandemic. And I have made a decision. I know you're all very excited about this. I am changing the accent colors. I don't like this. I know, it's a huge motif. Am I going to pick it out? I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm going to wait to see how it plays with the rest of it and then decide if I need to swap it out. But I stitched, this is the original green that I picked, which is whatever that is. And this is like a more muted green. And I like that better. Of course, that is the only color I have touched so far, so I don't know how it's going to go. But I decided that the palette that I tend to be drawn to is something like a Blackbird Designs. So I thought, why not go over to some Blackbird patterns and see what they use for greens, see what they use for blues. And it'd been nice if I had thought of that before I did this whole thing. Well, Christmas tree. So yeah, so I have picked some new colors and I am hoping that they will not be a little more subtle, because I mean they're still going to show up with the black, but I just feel like they'll be less primary and more primitive. We're going to find out. We're going to find out how it goes. But this I have been enjoying. 1/1. I feel like this is the only way to do a long dog, is 1/1. Because it just, look at it, it looks like ink. Oh my goodness. I think I may work on that more tonight. The next thing I worked on is actually a new start, and it's a new start that all of you voted on in my last video. I had put up 4 different options for a new start, and I ended up with not even like just the most votes, but I think all the other 3 got 1 each, and then everybody else liked this one. So this is The Witch Is In from Rovaris, and this is a restart. I put up on Instagram, because you know I'm trying to Instagram you know, my fabric and my color choices, there were 2 classic color works. And I was ready to go, and I was ready to do it, and I started stitching it, and I hated it. I just hated it. So I threw that out, and I said, well, we've got this raw piece of linen kind of thing. Let's do 2/2 and see how it looks in a very fancy DMC. And it looks really cool in a very fancy DMC. It takes me a lot longer because it's 2/2 and it's a, you know, larger weave. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm surprised I've gotten this far. But I did get this far. And what I like with the variegated DMC is I'm getting that streaky look that's in the model in the magazine. So I'm pretty happy with that. The next thing I worked on is actually a finish. This is HooDoo VooDoo from the Primitive Needle, re-released. So happy. And in the time that I saw you last, I started it and finished it. We had talked last time about trying to get my initials in 1/1 on 40 count. This time I used regular sewing thread, and I do like how it came out. Sit still. But I don't like where it is. But I don't know if I'm going to pick it out. But it definitely came out a lot cleaner using regular sewing thread. But I think I'm still going to get the Swassofine just to see. I don't know. It's fancy and I might want to use it. I don't need excuses. One thing I will call out. The pattern says that you need, I think it's Classic Colorworks, salt wash. And if you go online, first of all, it says that it's obsolete or discontinued, which I don't think is true. But if you go online and look at salt wash, it is a variegated blue and gray. It's very pretty. But I stitched it in a blue and gray that I had. I think it was a Colorworks. And the blue was just, it was just wrong. It was wrong. So I looked at the cover photo, and they really, it looks like when they stitched the model, they only used the gray in the variegated blue and gray. So I don't know that it's obsolete. It's just, it's really not needed. So I picked it out and I just went with a gray, and I think it looks fine right here on the, I think it's the snake and the candle that we're both using those. And I think it came out fine. It came out fine. But if you're sitting there trying to figure out what to do with the salt bush, no, salt bush is the fabric. Salt wash, don't use the blue part. I haven't decided how I want to display. I kind of decided how I want to display these. I want to put them in like matching frames, but not necessarily like all the same color, but the same frame, if that makes sense. So I've got 3 now. I've got the Hallow Sampler, the Earth Sampler. This is the VooDoo, HooDoo. There might also be like a Mystic Sampler that I could want. I have many things in the cart over at our friend's Primitive Needle. I'm not gonna apologize for that at all. We waited so long. I'm buying everything. The next thing I have is actually a new start, but it is excuse me, a new start for an item that is in my Etsy shop. And this is the companion to Angel number 2, which is Angel number 1. Andrea, why did you do them out of order? I don't know, I just did. I just did. So this is Woodcut Angel, and I am doing this on 28 count hand-dyed fabric, hand-dyed by my stitchy godmother Laura. She made me ornaments, I may have mentioned it. She made me a pillow. look at this. I mean, look at this color. I don't even think it's Christmas. Excuse me again. It's totally Christmas. And I found a Victorian motto that I've had forever that was like not as yellow as a crew, but not as white as white. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a tiny little stat, but it's 1/1. And it's going to be so pretty. It's going to be so pretty for Christmas, and it's going to look so good in the store. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it, but I have an Etsy store. Visit, don't visit. I can't make you do anything. So yeah, I'm hoping to get that up. I'm hoping to get this finished by like mid-August so that the actual picture of it is in the shop for people who might be looking to start some Christmas stitches. I don't think this one will take very long. Done over 1. I say that out loud. We could be talking about this again next year. If anybody needs a reminder of what angel number 2 looks like, apologies for not ironing yet, but that is angel number 2. And that is 2/1 on like a 20 count data. So the other one is going to be so wee. I'm really kind of excited about it. The next 2 things are just going to be little sneak peeks. This is a model that I am working on for the Etsy store. And I'm just going to fold this over because I'm being sneaky, and you know, we all like a little mystery. I haven't decided. I love alphabets. I've got more than a few alphabet things up here. I enjoy alphabets. The English alphabet's kind of done to death. So I picked a different one. And so that is just the start of a new super secret pattern. Hopefully I can finish this maybe this week and get it up into the shop. I wanted to stitch this before I put it up because I wanted to be sure about the colors. I like them, but they may not look nice to regular people, so I need to find that out. But I will explain more about this when it's going to go live. The next thing I'm going to show you is also just a little sneak peek of secret stitching. This is actually going to be part of my Smalls exchange at Stitch New England this October. I've gone overboard. I have lost my mind, but I think this is so good. I want you to see my French knots. Look at my, I'm going to hide my face. Look at my French knots. Look at them. Oh my goodness. I am trying not to tell myself that it looks like flowers in a flower box and not a big pile of yarn in the yarn store. I mean, stop it, Andrea. What are you doing? What are you doing? If this doesn't focus, I'll put in a picture. Guys, it's like this big. What am I doing? What am I doing? Whoever ends up with this, I need to talk to you. We need to hang out, and I need to tell you. Hopefully I can get that finished. Again, I would like to have it finished in August because last year I was still stitching on the needle book that I made days before we left for the retreat. So let's do better. What else is going on? I put a couple of new patterns up in the Etsy store that are they're stash busters is what I kind of call them. So you can use any colors you want. You can pick your colors. You don't need me to tell you what to do. So I'm pretty confident in putting them up without having stitched them. Stitched them yet. I plan on stitching everything. But they are two, I put them right here and I will link them below, that that's just stuff that's on my mind. And I've always wanted to shy away from just making patterns with words because I didn't feel like it was very creative of me. But I find that I don't really put things in the Etsy shop for everybody. I design things that I would like to stitch, and then I share them out and say, here, this is available if you're into it too. So it's not like I'm looking for mass appeal or anything like that. But I think these, I was pleased with these. So I put them right up. I've got more in the design phase. My problem is always the colors. I have such a leaning towards doing everything in black. Black is safe. And even just making monochromatic patterns is safe, because then people can pick their own colors and they're not going to look at me and go, how did you ever think that worked? I am that much colorblind. Blues and greens get weird for me. My father was colorblind. I guess it's sort of odd to pass it down to a daughter, but thanks, Dad. You know, and it's not that I can't see them. They move around on me. Like, I can look at it like an aqua and a teal and be like, this is blue-er, and I think this is green-er, but if I separate them, it's the same color. In my brain, it says, those are the same. Don't worry about it. So, color palette is something that I am starting to figure out how I can get around the not disability, the limitation of what my eyes do, or what my brain does with what my eyes tell it. And one of those things is just going out and finding pictures of like tapestries and medieval stuff and things that I like, and pulling the palette from there, and then matching it up to DMC, and then deciding if I want to swap that out with something fancy. It's time consuming, but I think I'm going to get better results. Stay tuned, we'll find out. I attended parts of the Midsummer Stitch that Stephanie over at Lindy Stitches puts on with all of her associates. There isn't anybody who isn't friends with Stephanie, because she's that person. She's everybody's friend. She's a delight. And she put up a good roster. There were great things in the shop. I did buy a couple of things. We'll talk about them if they ever get started. I did not find myself as anxious to go. The meet and greets, I love. I love the meet and greets. I did not know a lot of the people doing the meet and greets. I didn't really have any questions for them, so I enjoyed it more going back after they were done and kind of watching, you know, at my own speed, at my own pace. It also means that you can do a little fast forward through, you know, internet problems and, you know, can you hear me? Can I hear you? Can you hear me? I'm here. Do you see me? Let's get those. There are things that annoy me. Technology does things. I think we all know. If you watch Emily Baker, you know streaming is dynamic. Streaming is dynamic. And if something's going to go wrong, it's always going to be during a live something. But I have no patience to sit and watch people play the Can You Hear Me Now game. So being able to fast forward through that is good. I won't say that it was absolutely worth the price of admission. I think it was $10. I was very happy to get into the limited edition patterns. They're great. You know, and the people who the sessions that I've watched are great. You know, so it wasn't that it wasn't good. I just don't think I was in the mood for it or something. But I do like being able to go back and watch things that I missed. Another stitchy thing I've been up to. I am a ardent admirer of Pattern Keeper. I love it in every way that you can love a program that lets you tick things off and know where you are and not get lost. Love it. But I had been having some issues, could very well be on my end, so let's not even speculate, getting the primitive needle patterns into Pattern Keeper. They were off by one and they were doing weird things, and I was, you know, nothing like that was ever going to stop me from stitching those. I'd have done it from a clay tablet if I had to. But I downloaded Markup RXP. There is a learning curve, and I got angry at it more than once, especially since I was paying for it. Pattern Keeper you pay for, and that's it. Markup RXP is a yearly subscription. It is very robust. You can get just about any pattern in the universe into there and reasonably work on it. It takes a little more paying attention and zhuzhing. It looks for symbols and tries to recognize symbols, and it might miss some, or you may have to tell it, or you may have to click things more than one. It's a bit of a thing, but I got them in there. And I stitched from there, and it came out wonderfully. It doesn't work quite the same as Pattern Keeper, but I think if you've got an issue getting something into Pattern Keeper, you're probably not going to have that issue in Markup RXP. I would be a terrible spokesperson because it's the Markup PKR. I think that is it for the stitchy stuff. I have to remind myself to pay my invoice for 3 Owls Threads Nest Egg, because I'm not giving up on my floss. Unless I can find honestly, unless Trish starts doing a Fabric of the Month club, I'm just going to stick with getting the flosses. I have too many. I have too much floss. And yet at the same time, never enough. Never enough. So I have to remind myself to do that. I don't know if I feel like stitching right now, or maybe designing a little more. We'll see how the day goes. Otherwise, I have been doing pretty okay. Work is fine. Home is fine. I work from home, so it's the same place. It's been a fairly nice summer. It hasn't been too gross here in Massachusetts. We had a couple of gross days, but it really hasn't been that bad. But I am longing for Halloween. I need the fall. And the fact that there is code orange going on out there at like Home Goods and whatnot is just unfair. If I don't have a mental inventory of everything that I have, how do I know if I should bring this thing home? The answer will obviously be, of course you need to bring that thing home. I cannot bring any more things home. Mark and I have agreed things should not come into this house unless something is leaving. There is plenty of stuff in here that we could be donating, and it's just a matter of getting up and doing it. You know, things that I bought ages ago that I said, you know what I'm going to do? I have like I don't know if it's antique or vintage. It's only because I can see them from here. Chopsticks, a set of chopsticks in the little holders, and thank you, the truck going by. And they're pretty, and I like them. And my thought in my head was, I'm going to put these in like a shadow box, like a fan, and do they're still sitting over there. They're still sitting over there. And if I go to frame something, it's probably going to be a cross stitch, or it's going to be some spooky picture that I found somewhere that I want on my wall. That's how that works. So yeah, I think I need to bring a box of things to Savers, and then maybe I could go looking at some Halloween things. I won't say it's my new aesthetic, because it's not. I have finally realized that I'm an adult and we own this house. And if I want to buy something that's spooky, I don't need to take it down in December and hide it away until September. I want to buy things that I can have in my spooky house 24/7. They don't have to scream Halloween, but they have to scream, "This girl's spooky." So this is how I am justifying shopping. I did notice a lot of people at the end of their videos now are talking about books and TV shows, and I have not had the concentration to really read anything. I keep reading the first like 3 pages of books and saying, I hate this, I don't like it, I don't want to read it. But I have been watching a lot of horror movies. Here's the problem. I did not make a list of them before I sat down. So I'm going to save that conversation for next time. But if you have a scary movie, and you know, if it's gory or gross or whatnot, I don't really care. I will watch just about anything. You know, I may not look directly at the screen. I may take my glasses off. I usually stitch while I'm watching shows anyway. So go ahead and make some suggestions down there of either spooky or horror, you know, because those can be 2 very different things. And we will discuss that in our next episode, which hopefully will be less than 5 weeks away. So I think that is it for me. Just I guess a quick update. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your likes and even your dislikes. And thank you, as always, for your comments. I may not get to respond to all of them, but I definitely read them, and I try to acknowledge every single one of them. If you have asked me a question in the past and I somehow missed it, ask me again. Ask me again. Or send me something on Instagram, because I tend to see that a little more often. Laura, my stitchy godmother, she made me a pillow. She's one of the few people who consistently talk to me on Instagram or in any other situation, but so that is something I pay attention to when a message comes through, and I'll say what people want. I have been getting a lot of spam lately, but that's life on the internet. Hopefully I will see you all very, very soon. Bye, guys.